Okay, so y'all know that. Okay, let's start over. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, people I don't like. Y'all know I bang with almost everybody black. I'm gonna be honest with you. Part of the reason why I don't really like on my channel, you're never really gonna see me like bashing nobody like that, like too hard, especially if they a black creator in this space specifically because I think we need as much solidarity as possible. Separate from that, I think that the left needs more solidarity as possible, way more solidarity than we have going. Like right now, what's going on with Cornel West and everybody else in the Green parties, and we need way more solidarity everywhere. So you're never gonna really see me bashing black content creators. But man, if I don't have a problem with these gosh darn black conservative, like, oh my god, they make my head hurt. And you know what's crazy about them? It's like I'm not 100% sure if that happens in this clip, in this video, but they almost always bring up Thomas Sowell. Oh my gosh. And, you know, in our movement, we got like hundreds of leaders that you could point to. Like, so many. Conservatives really, they'd be like, Clarence Thomas, Thomas Sowell. Ooh, man. Black people don't even know who these Negroes are. I mean, Clarence Thomas, obviously, because he's literally pissing all over everything, but man, Shelby Steele, they like to throw that one out there. They think that one's a flex. I like that dude though, honestly, but still, I just don't want to be the dude that bashes black folk, but I hate when not only black people who don't know their history, but they're too young to even have a life experience to even really know. You know, like I could talk to you about why I feel so strongly about being black in America, being black in this space, all that stuff. Y'all know it's something that's the end of my heart. I talk about it all the time. But like I have to keep in mind, like I got people in my family that's like white, Christian, evangelicals. I got like Jewish people in my family, Palestinian people in my family. Like, and I care about how what all they what I care about how they all feel. I care about what they all think. You know. So if there's an issue that's important to them, I like to act like not even act like I like to make sure that they understand that I care. So that being said, I just couldn't listen to these fools anymore without saying something because at first I looked at the video and I was like, MLK still I got like 1,000 views. At the time I had like 1,000 views. Now it has more. But I'm thinking to myself, what? How could this possibly? But then when I watched the video, I'm like, oh, because like you got people like me hate watching it, and you got white people, white people in the background who was secretly like, oh, I see, they're saying it. Biggie, Cube, Snoop Dogg, Pop, Jay Z, they're saying it. Ooh, Jesus. Yo, watch me. Oh my god. Watch me watch this, bro.
We back again with another video, choo choo.
Zaza.
And today we are
Son, choo choo.
diving into this Martin Luther King stuff. If you've been paying attention to us, we've been kind of reluctant to, not really reluctant, but we've been kind of clapping at the Martin Luther King love because Martin Luther King was a communist, and ultimately what he did for the black community was detrimental. He did more harm than good, and we're gonna show you exactly why. First things first, I want to say that if you're not following
I don't think I've ever heard something so stupid
Chad,
in my entire life.
if you're not following Chad O. Jackson, you need to be following Chad O. Jackson
Now,
ASAP.
ASAP.
If you look at exactly who's right in that picture, it's the creme de la creme of black conservative men who continuously talk about conservative policies that black people can never get down with because it sounds like so stupid and ridiculous. And you got this dude Chad O. Jackson. Now you do just a little light research on who Chad O. Jackson is. He's the dude who did that what you call it, the Uncle Tom movie. When you have those black people who made that movie complaining about the fact that people call them Uncle Toms because, you know what I'm saying, hit dog on holler kind of thing. You know, like I personally do not take pleasure. I gotta be honest with you. I don't like to call people Uncle Toms. I think that's kind of messed up. I think that's close to calling somebody an it's cold. It's like, yo, bro, don't violate. But I would take offense to that. I think this dude kind of like wears it like a badge of honor, like, you know, like my hooligan shirt or something. But let's continue to listen to thing 1 and thing 2. Alright, I see. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. I promise you, I'm trying.
This video that I'm about to play came straight off his page. Excellent researcher. Crosses all his T's and dots all his I's. So definitely trust his work. Yeah. So we just want to go right into it.
And by the way, we are the.
I'm sorry. I have to show y'all who this fool is. I'm sorry. So this is the gooba Chad O. Johnson. This is the man. He was in that Uncle Tom movie. This is just a brief kind of what my man kind of feels. You know what I mean? Like I watched some of this. I could not. Black people talking about how much I can't. It's hard to listen to black conservatives. So I didn't watch the whole thing.
Tina Aptheker said that the American political landscape is the perfect one for communism because Americans believe that they live in a democracy.
Communist philosophy or socialism easily and has to adapt to the country in which it's taking place. In this country, there will never be socialism unless the overwhelming majority of the American people passionately want it, and want it so badly that they're going to go out and get it. It's one of the things that gets me so excited when I start thinking about the possibilities of socialism in this country. The civil rights movement has already been...
Okay, well, I tell you right now, nobody wants socialism as bad as they're going to go out into America and fight for it and take it for socialism. Nope. I think Americans, as it stands right now, I'm not saying that it's necessarily the best situation, but as it stands right now, Americans are just fine with capitalism. That ain't happening.
Begun to develop a certain program. It is revolutionary, and it is also, I think, much more democratic.
So you can democratize social issues, and you can, in a sense, pull out the heartstrings of America. They will then let their guard down, and they will democratize socialism into reality. And so I don't see Martin Luther King fighting against that. I see Martin Luther King as a participant in that, which is a subversive thing.
It seems to me that
So, just so you know, this man does not like Martin Luther King for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe he wants to be a traditional kind of Christian dude. You watch that video. I'll probably link in the description. You'll see the dude that he really follows and gets behind is some black conservative Christian dude who had like H.H. Johnson, something like that. I'm not big on the Christian scene like that. I don't know who that is. Don't kill me. But long story short, listening to these fools, I had to comment on it. I'm sorry I'm taking so long to get started, but here we go.
The most are the most certified to talk about Mr. Martin Luther King because guess what? We live on his street.
Right, we on Martin Luther King.
So
Honestly say one of my best friends was a colored girl. I come from Kentucky, and I can honestly say one of my best friends was a colored girl. And as children have no prejudice, we became very close friends.
Interracial commissions were set up in the South, and these commissions were composed of responsible white and Negro leaders in the South. And they were doing a pretty good job. When there was friction between the two groups, they sought to find a solution.
I would not let that determine whether I become friend to them by their color. I have found several colored people that I have enjoyed their friendship.
The South built many of them far superior.
Right, so she's saying, let me choose my friends, whether they black or they white. Let me choose them. I don't need government forcing,
right,
you know,
forcing you to diversify your environment.
Right, that
you must have a black friend. You
right.
must have, you know what, that reminds me of a video I sent you. Oh, but it was this video somebody sent me at this
So her dumb stupid video aside, nobody's saying that the government should be involved in picking your friends. You got this person who's getting interviewed about whether or not she wants to be around black people, and she tells you, instead of just saying, yeah, I don't care, black people, white people, yellow people, it's cool. She goes, oh, yeah, I got a bunch of friends who like are black people that I personally, I just enjoy them. I wonder if it's not, those people aren't similar to the Chad O. Johnsons or the Jesse Lee Petersons. I don't know. Christians might not be banging with him because he's kind of coming out as gay. The Thomas Souls of the world. Yeah, naturally you ain't gonna have no problem with them. But what about just overall being around black people? How do you feel about that, Betty?
Things were getting along pretty smoothly. Now everything is just topsy-turvy now.
Yeah. So people was getting along. The blacks were doing good, the whites were doing good, and they were the racial organically getting along. And they were actually judging people based on the content of their character, not on their skin.
That's surprising. That's a Martin Luther King quote, buddy. So you're quoting Martin Luther King, but you're gonna rip him this whole entire video.
Why would you want to move into somebody else's stuff? Why would you want the government to force you to move into somebody else's stuff when you could just work on your own community? And that's what they did. They were working on their own community. But you're going to see that it's a small minority of people like Martin Luther King and the radicals that want to interject themselves into other people's neighborhoods.
Doesn't that remind you of a certain group of people that exist right now?
Yeah, you want to take what you got going on and force it on somebody else.
Who is she talking about?
Except it.
So, a couple things. Black people in the South had no protection under the law. No protection under the law. They were getting lynched. There was state-sanctioned terrorism against black people going on in these times that you say that these black men loved their self-determination. And don't get it twisted, black people did love their self-determination. As soon as we were free, we attempted to be a part of normal society the way that we saw fit, and we were fine with that being completely black. White people didn't really want to be around us, no way. But you wouldn't know that because, you know, you're 12. See, I gotta stop being mean, bro. They move up to the north to run away from terrorism, to not be able to ever find a job anywhere aside from there now being terrorism in the north. So black people then attempted to fight for civil rights to be a part of regular society, because even when black people made their own towns and built their own cities, they were terrorized. This is unbearably frustrating. Just a couple more clips here, and we'll let this go. It was very hard though to let this go, because Man, bro. They got crushed in the comment section.
All this
by the way.
integration
Crushed.
stuff.
Like I wish I could show you. They got bodied in the comment section.
Because they wanted the Negro to unite with the white communists. That was their objective. Not with the other white people, but with the white communists.
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
And as a result, they have destroyed all pride amongst them.
Yeah, so they don't want you to enter. They don't want you to mingle with the regular white folk. They want you to intermingle with the white communists.
Not the Christians. No,
Not
not
the
those
Christians.
racist evangelical whites. No.
Right. The communists. The communists.
The communists.
We had over 500 buses.
Wow.
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We had that from 1927 up to about 1967. We owned the buses.
Mm-hmm.
We owned the resource. All of our mechanics were blacks. All of our drivers were blacks. Electricians were black. Everything was black. We don't kill our buses.
What?
Social integration. And
Wow.
all of a sudden, you all start talking about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King going down to Alabama, want to integrate the bus lines. Integrate whose bus lines?
I have always ridden in
Yep.
the back of the bus because I didn't have.
Right.
Yep.
So all these people that be like, where are black businesses? Why is no black-owned businesses around here? We had them. We had them. Y'all sold them to the communists because y'all wanted to be a part of their world.
See, and
So
that's
bad.
And that's the thing. So the communists worked on the black community first because one of the rules of communism is no privatized business, no private property, none of that.
Nope.
So you sacrifice your own business and your own livelihood to integrate with somebody else. So now you don't have a mortgage, you have a landlord. Somebody else own what you live on. Now you don't own anything because you wanted to ditch what you had and go with what they have and move into their buildings and stuff. Like, imagine, you see all the people in the projects. We're in an apartment building right now. I mean, my auntie owns the apartment building, but I don't own this. And a lot of people over here are just renting property. You don't own anything. So we sacrificed our individuality as a culture, really, to integrate with so-called white people.
Guts to get in the front of the bus. But now the time.
Bruh. I don't know. At those times, who you think was the city councilman? Who you think was the mayor? Who you think was the governor? Where do you think resources were allocated? What did you think that they were doing from before World War II to after World War II with those highway interstate laws running through black towns and cities? What do you think that they were doing when they were doing these things? You think black people just like one day just up and was just like, you know what? We hate everything about ourselves. We hate this. We hate the fact that we have jobs. We're going to want to go hang out with some white people. Listen, I am in a very, very, very black family. Okay? Very black. Just like I have some white people in my family that have no interest in hanging out with black people. Oh, I have some black people in my family that have no interest in hanging out with white people. Not interested. That peel of whiteness does not exist for them. They completely fine with staying in Brooklyn. Trust me. In the black part of Brooklyn, not the part where you see like coffee shops and shit like that. What are y'all talking about? Like, there's so much context missing out of what you're saying. You're drawing these little short comparisons. Like, Jesus, it's like watching a train crash, and I can't stop looking at it.
That communists are directing the revolutionary activities of the radical black power element of America.
He says he
And they are.
represents the Negro. He does not represent anybody but himself. He is looking for security. That's what our elders are looking for. But we do not want security.
Many of
Right. You haven't heard this perspective, though. You haven't heard the people actually opposing the civil rights movement and all of that stuff. Because they like, bro, we getting it together. We doing good. Why?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And the sad part about it is that you got a young sister and a young brother that can stand there and watch black people get maliciously beat on, who just want to sit and have lunch. They're just trying to prove a point about wanting to be able to just eat at a lunch counter and being able to travel around this country freely without being terrorized for being black. That's why they were doing it. They didn't do it because they wanted to just be communists. Oh, it just so happened that yes, in the marketplace of ideas, communism was hot, socialism was hot, especially when you come from out of slavery and you realize that these white folks ain't ever gonna share any part of this country with you. They took it in blood, and in their mind, you better be able to take it in blood. And when you have them actively sending police into our communities to lock us up, when you have them actively blocking us out of housing markets, when you have them actively keeping money out of our school systems, when you have them actively running highways and interstates through our communities, when you have them terrorizing the actual stand-up communities that we did have in Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Texas, and Illinois, all these places. You missing all of that. It's not as simple as communism, and anybody that's just gonna sit there and believe that, all right, cool, do your thing. Much love to you. I don't know what to tell you. Me and you ain't living in the same multiverse, okay? I don't know what you want. That's insane to me. You know, I feel bad for these kids. I wish they obviously would read more. But they gonna stay on YouTube looking at videos like this where you have PragerU editors or something putting out videos for these kids to just suck up. I don't know. This is sad and bleak. But please don't fall for this. Black people, you have a rich, amazing, beautiful culture. Excuse me. Sorry. You have an amazing, rich, beautiful culture full of black people who wanted self-determination and equal rights for their people. You think we made this up? You think these ass whoopings that these people went through, which is like, oh, I want to wake up and get my ass whooped today because I just like attention and I picked up a book about communism. Well, you look at that. Like, bro, come on, man, use your mind, dog. Try the podcast. Peace.